beer YouTubers, it's Ryan back with another episode of San Diego Beer Blog. Thanks for joining me once again. Today we're looking at a beer that I got from YouTube user Tantrum777. It's from Jameson's Beer Reviews, and he sent me the Dissident from Deschutes. Oh wait, let me hold that bottle up there. I love this label. Love the name of the beer, the Dissident. Love the label from Deschutes. Simple, clean, kind of stark. This is what they describe as a sour brown ale brewed with cherries. So that actually kind of reminds me of a little bit of Lost Abbey's Red Poppy, except for this beer is 10.5%. So it's actually a big American wild ale. Now, this is kind of modeled after the Belgian style Flanders Reds, Oud Bruins, those kind of beers. Having a heck of a time getting this cap off with all that wax. But this beer is meant to age. It says on the bottle, best after November 1st, 2011. So I'm going to look at this as fresh as I was able to get it. And then I might revisit it either very much later this year or early next year, just to see how it might have changed. Because these beers, they tend to... When they sour, they sour usually pretty quick. So just drinking out of my little Allagash glass. It's actually not very brown. I'm getting more of like a dark gold into kind of copper color. About a finger off-white head. Definitely a yellow kind of tinge to it. Good amount of carbonation coming off the bottom. Usually these beers are pretty highly carbonated, as is the Belgian tradition. So on the bottle it says they are using wild yeast for the fermentation, so I assume that means Brettanomyces. That's usually the wild yeast strain that they'll use. And then they use bacteria, usually Pediococcus and Lactobacillus, to get that sourness in there. They'll create that sourness, and that gives it the beer a real tartness. So let's get the nose on. Yeah, I definitely get a tart. A lot of these beers have that sweet and sour effect. They have that really kind of tart, acidic character that kind of reminds you of like a vinegar. And then this one, the fact that you use cherries actually gives it a nice, real sweet kind of cherry aroma as well. And it makes it really pleasant with that, with the tartness. Works really well on the nose. That's about it. I mean, if they're using the Brett, oftentimes you'll get with Brett, you'll get that kind of barnyard kind of funkiness. I'm not really getting too much on there. There's maybe a touch, because it has a real nice kind of earthy character as well to go with that kind of vinegary, cherry, sweet tartness. So, so far so good. It smells very clean. Looks like a very nice, I mean it's fairly hazy, but that might go away. This might be chill haze on this. So I'm ready to dig in. Cheers. Oh yeah, it's definitely got tartness up front, but there's a lot more going on than you sometimes get with other sour beers. Yeah, there's definitely some complexity in there. Up front, carbonation and tartness from the bacteria. It's got that kind of vinegary kind of character in there as well. I mean, it's pretty close to the nose for the most part. Actually, I'm getting much more kind of earthy, kind of hay funk going on. Get more of a Brett character in the taste and the nose. Because I kind of get that midway through. Up front tartness kind of leads into this kind of apple cidery vinegar character. Then it goes into this kind of earthy, kind of funk, hay-like funk character. And at the end, it has some sweetness with that kind of cherry character on the back end. I assume Deschutes is using, some kind of barrels for this beer, because I am picking up like a little bit of like an oak character on there, maybe like a tinge of that kind of vanilla note that you get with a lot of oak casks, and there's some of that going on there. It's a pretty complex sour. Okay, so I'm back with the Dissident from Deschutes. But I'm letting this warm up a little more, not too much. You don't want to drink these beers like as warm as stouts, that's for sure. But just let it warm up a little bit. It's more probably closer to 50 degrees now. Pretty much out right out of the fridge. I am picking up some more alcohol that is coming into play. I'm gonna get it more as I go on the taste. So that kind of knocks it down a few points for me. I wish there was a little more of like that cherry character in there. It's kind of, it's more muted than I thought it would be. So it's got some other nice flavors, but I do think they're a little kind of sporadic right now in terms of just kind of, they haven't quite all gelled yet. So I think that's where that best after date will come into play. Hopefully this beer really kind of comes together a little more. It is a little disjointed in the flavors. It's not like as smooth as I was hoping, because a lot of these beers, well, typically they're lower ABV beers for one, but they'll be really smooth, kind of oftentimes even refreshing. This one kind of doesn't quite have that character yet, so I'm hoping maybe with some more age on it, it'll get to that kind of level. But as far as a grading goes on the Dissident, it's really hard. I'm right between a B+ and A- because I think this beer has a lot of potential. It's just, the more I drink it, the more I don't like it quite as much, because of the alcohol kind of comes through a little more, and the flavors seem a little disjointed. So I'm gonna go B+ with this one. It's a really well brewed beer. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if you're a sour head, it's got a lot of characteristics you're gonna like. The tartness, the Brett character. You know, there's the cherry kind of fruit component in there. You get the vinegary character. I mean, it's kind of all there. It's just I'm not quite liking as much as I was kind of hoping I would at this point. But we'll try it again a little later date and see how it does. It's gonna wrap it up. Show that awesome label once again. I mean, this is really well brewed sour, but B+ for me on the Dissident. Till next time, please comment and subscribe. Cheers.